Jen says, I do wonder if certain elimination diets can cause undue stress. And that's, it's, one of the interesting things with elimination diets is that often there'll be a little bit of detox with diets that does create a little bit of stress as stuff is leaving the body, which is one of the reasons sometimes whenever people do an elimination diet, there'll be an increase in symptoms for a little bit. And it's not because the diet is bad, it's because stuff is being released from different organs or, from the gut that were being held there, or bound in fat, for example, or bound in fecal matter in the digestive tract that the body was sort of protected from, and they come up and they're expressed. This is called a Herxheimer response or a healing crisis, but it's really just detox, which means whatever is coming out was in there already, and it's the body is detecting it on its way out. So that could be experienced as stress on the body. So it's true. That's why one of the reasons whenever people are doing elimination diets or cleanses, physical activity isn't usually recommended, because the body is focusing a lot of energy on clearing out whatever was in there that needs to be released, which is also a correlate to whenever a lot of really strong emotions are coming out, the body is working really hard to release all those emotions, and it needs to rest sometimes too. You're going to say
Well, I was just wondering about the pressure that you put on yourself and the lifestyle of eliminating, and just that idea of not being able to have what everybody else has. I think that can cause stress.
That makes sense. And one of the trickiest things with the health journey is that everyone's health journey is distinct. And that's something that, just because there's an elimination diet doesn't mean that everyone will benefit from it, because everyone's body is different. So I think one of the best things to do there is just to listen to your body and see what it's asking for, if it's asking for you to stop doing something, then you're less likely to have the stress around it, because you sort of feel it's intuitively what you need. And that can take a while to learn to listen, a long time sometimes, to learn to listen to your body whenever it's talking to you like that. But yeah, the healing, I guess what you could go back to there is whatever your comfort level is, there'll be some periods of healing can cause stress. For instance, feeling emotions can be stressful, but again, being able to return back to baseline is the thing. And if you find yourself in a state where it's hard to return back to baseline, maybe you're putting too much pressure on yourself, and it's just time to stick with what works. So that's a really great point. And I love the affirmation, I am learning. So, oh my gosh, it's perfect. And Karen says, I'm thinking that elimination dieting is a form of avoidance behavior for me. Okay. Can you explain that a bit more, Karen?
Well, in general, I have a very strong avoidance behavior type of personality. I avoid pain at all costs, anything and everything. And the FODMAP diet started off for me as something that it was a necessity. I mean, things were seriously out of control with my body, and it helped. But what I tend to do is that once I find something that helps, I cling on to it like it's a lifeline, like I'll never be able to let go of this, because, all of that bad stuff is going to return again if I stop doing this thing. And I've gotten to the point in my life where I've eliminated so much stuff that I don't think it's healthy. And they'll say that about the FODMAP diet. When it first came out, they didn't say this, but eventually they started recognizing that it's not a long-term diet solution because it eliminates foods that you need. So I actually am in the process of bringing those foods back into my life, and it's making me think about other things that I've eliminated. So,
How is
yeah.
it going so far? The gentle reintroduction.
But it's going pretty good. And it's very gentle reintroduction. I might reintroduce like a very, very small amount of like onion, and just, maybe once a week, and just see how that goes. And so far it's been going really well. But I also know that these foods can also, when you're in a high stress period in your life, these, just like with chronic pain, the effects of IBS increase, and that's what the food map diet is designed for, is for IBS.
Okay.
So it's a matter of just kind of balancing things out and feeling into it, being willing to see what might happen, and for me, being willing to endure a little bit of pain.
That's a really interesting point. It's a very gentle, controlled way where, because also one of the things with gut health is sometimes even just all the bacteria and the nutrients we get from different things, a little bit is all you need to sort of reintroduce some of the microflora, and it doesn't have to happen all at once. So I love that you're going at your speed, your whatever gentle pace you've chosen is perfect. So I really respect that you had that courage. I mean, after that long, that's fantastic.
Yeah, thank you.
Good job. Very good. Yeah, Jen's way to be brave. And that's one of the things, these tiny steps, that's what courage is. Courage are just tiny steps. So you can be very, very brave, very slowly, and very, measured steps. Bravery doesn't have to be a huge, scary process.
I've heard too that taking the things in small steps helps you to avoid or sidestep the brain's fear centers in triggering them. So if you take a very, 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 very small step towards something, it doesn't set off those triggers in your brain, which might not set off your pain.
Yeah. One of the other things I've noticed about food is that there are like some food habits are so deeply ingrained, even if you consciously know you should do something, it just sometimes it's slow. And maybe it's protective in a way, the slowness and the difficulty creating new habits related to food, and that maybe, compared to other things, maybe the digestive tract needs to move slower. I don't know. But I've experienced that same thing where, like, I know I need to do this other thing. Why am I not doing it? And there's probably some sort of wisdom in the speed that you're choosing.